It's time to strap in and get ready.
The leaders in NRL Supercoach are incoming. Bringing you the ultimate insight to help you win your leagues and climb up the rankings.
You're now listening to the Insight NRL Show with your hosts, Brain, Mattrix, and Whisperer.
Hello and welcome to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. This is the NRL Show. It's round 18 and we are answering our Insight Unlimited questions, answers from myself, of course, today. I'm the Supercoach Mattrix, and look, all our Unlimited members are in our Discord asking us questions. They get access to us every week. We're doing an absolute plethora of sports at the moment. This one is missing out on our NFL as well, but for just $20 for the rest of the NRL season, you can get access to our NBA, the rest of the AFL season, our NBL and our BBL content. I know I'm working on some NBA draft boards and that at the moment, but we are here to talk about NRL. And all our Inside Unlimited members have some questions for us. So let's kick it off with Matty Granger here. He's here with an apology, so it's all good, mate. But he broke Jeremy Marshall-King after buying him for a week. Who does he need for the run home? Now, I've been getting lots of questions about hookers of the NRL variety. So I start to think about who I want for the run home as well. And there's a big question around whether you want or need a round 19 number. So I actually really like Damien Cook. He is at an absolute premium price. I think he's the most expensive hooker in the game at the moment. But topping off scores of 86, 96, 61, 95, and 111 in the last couple games. He's got Parramatta into the Dolphins in that round 19 bye round, possibly even a captain option there, into the Tigers, Canberra, Sharks. Look, Melbourne, West Tigers, Newcastle, Panthers, and the Roosters all the way home. Just looks like a golden draw there, and you get that round 19 number. We all have a lot of Roosters at the moment, but if you don't have that many, Connor Watson is averaging 65 this year. In the last couple of weeks, he's got 89, 58, 68, 70, 125, and 92 going all the way back to round 8. Of course, he's been playing Origin, so he won't be available round 19 and probably wouldn't have anyway, but hasn't played a lot of minutes, so I expect him to back up afterwards. One thing to keep in mind with all these Roosters players, and maybe you're getting rid of a Joseph Manu or somebody like that this week, or even a Terrell May, their time seems to have sort of come up, but they have a bye round 23, so make sure you've got the numbers and the coverage for round 23 if you decide to go Connor Watson. But I'm going to give you one more option, and that's Reed Marnie. He's averaging 66 at the moment. I'm not really touching Reece Robson, who's got 66 as well, so these three are my guys. He's just had an excellent base power all year. He's had a 0.84 ppm all year. He's been one of the best. He's had a base of 48. Coming off a 93, 53, 48, 79, 76. The Bulldogs have been really good defensively. So he's been doing a lot of work in the middle. And the draw is actually quite nice. We've got New Zealand. We've got that bye in round 19, so you have to be aware of that as well. You've got the Cowboys, the Broncos, Canberra, St. George, Dolphins, New Zealand, Manly, and the Cowboys. It's actually really nice for how good the Doggies have been. I wasn't looking at them at the start of the year, looking at the schedule, because I didn't think they'd be this good. But they're a top 8 team at the moment, and Reed Marnie's their captain. 614K. You could do wrong. You couldn't do wrong, really. It's just, if you need the round 19 number, the short answer is Damien Cook, but you have to pay up. Otherwise, I really like Connor Watson, the flexibility with second row as well, and and one Reed Marnie. Brent's asking what two fullbacks I like for the from round 20 until the end of the season. Now, Brano pointed out in the last show that it's really hard to, I suppose, get Dylan Edwards in at the moment. He's not as good when Cleary's back. He's got 115 break even, and he's 950k. If you've got Dylan Edwards, he's definitely a hold. I'm in that position. But if you don't, James Tedesco, he has been absolutely sensational. I'll rattle through his scores in the last little bit. And tell me. So we go to round 9, 112, 88, 79, 151, 98, 84, and 116. Outside of round 20, he is almost a captain option every week. He's got St. George. He's got Manly. He's got the Dolphins. He's got Parramatta. He's got the Titans. He's got Canberra. And he's got Souths in the last round. There is a bye in round 23. There is a bye in round 19. But obviously this was from round 20. I think Teddy has to be one of those guys. I'm going to wait and see how Turbo comes back. But he's at a pretty good price. He's 760k with a 74 break even. If he comes back in the centres, when he starts to move to fullback, I'm extremely interested. And I'll also be watching Kalen Ponga with that 171. But I think by the time round 20 comes around, we can see who's in form. It could be a Reece Walsh. It could be even a Scott Drinkwater, somebody like that. But I'll be looking at Turbo, Ponga, Latrell. Yeah, I'd be looking at those guys. Basically all those New South Wales fullbacks there. But lock in Teddy as option number 1. And then, whoever starts to hit some form through this period afterwards and who you can afford. Like, you might only be able to afford a Turbo. And I think at 700k, if you can't afford 900k James Tedesco, I don't think you're going to go really wrong there. So, thanks, mate. Sorry, I hope I'm throwing some options at you. I'm personally going Dylan Edwards and James Tedesco. Is it the ones I want? No, but it's the ones that I've got. Isaac, thanks for the question, mate. Chance Nickel Clockstad to Cooler to Marju, basically asking if it's a good trade. And I suppose the catalyst of this is it frees up cash to get Ponga and Crichton in the next few weeks. So Chance Nickel Clockstad's been ordinary. Brent's question last was asking who I want as a fullback, and Chance Nickel Clockstad wasn't one of them. 65, 36, and 24 in his last 3 games. So, going down to Cooler and Marju makes sense. I really like Tolutau Kola this week. I'll be getting him. I'm staying away from Marju just because I've been burnt, but I don't think it's a bad trade. But if it gives you the flexibility, I think Crichton's must own. And I think Ponga, if he drops a little bit of cash, could be absolutely perfect. I suppose if Ponga's going great, then you're probably going to want Marju as well there. But I think getting rid of C&K, even though he's lost a heap of money, even though he's 630k, that's where we were sitting at with Reece Walsh. I don't think that you're going to go too wrong there. His last 3 games are nearly, outside of one score, his worst 3 games of the year. And I just don't think he's meshing very well with Tamari Martin and Chanel Harris-Tavita. I think C&K out, if it allows you to get a proven gun like Ponga and Crichton, that's a great trade, mate. And Kola, this is the week to get him, and Marju with a negative break even. That's also a good option as well. I'm leaning towards Kola. Deadly is the Punters Club vice president in our Discord, so mad props to him. He's asking whether Wishart or Galvin to Hines. He's not worried about round 19. He already has 15. So I would probably go, and again, it's probably depending on trades. I don't see Wishart or Galvin really as season-long keepers. I'll probably end up holding Galvin because I need the numbers for round 19. But Wishart's been scoring really well. I'd be more likely to trade out Tyron Wishart with some of these other guys coming back, even though he's been really impressive. Nico, 120 break even. I've been on X saying that I'm probably not the biggest fan of getting Nico in this week. But yeah, look, I would probably go Wishart out. Galvin's just going to plateau out and stay at that exact price, which, yeah, gives you a bit of flexibility later on. But yeah, I'd probably move Wishart on, mate. Tross in the chat. He has a front row of Curran, Semi-Finu, May, and Miles Martin. Which to sell for a keeper? I'm in a very similar position, mate. Add Joey Taps instead of Curran, and I would move May on to Haas. I think that now that Origin's over, it's time to move him on. I think Lindsay Collins starting last weekend, I suppose, was the nail in the coffin. Maybe he scores really well in round 20, but after that, I don't think you're going to be wanting May, and you're probably going to be playing Semi-Finu instead of him anyway. He's topped out at his price. So, yeah, I think now's the perfect time to move him on to to Haas. Maybe you can just trade him out in round 20, though, after round 20, because I think round 20 he will score really well. They'll be working Lindsay Collins back after that Origin 3, and we know he has been the absolute GOAT through this Origin period at front row forward. So, yeah, you could wait a little bit, but I am looking to get rid of May, even with his break-even of 19. I moved him last week, so... Lenny, mate, used to open the batting for the Brisbane Heat and the about 3 or 4 for the 36ers. Thanks for, the Adelaide Strikers. Sorry, I got my NBL and my BBL a bit mixed up. Cooler or Marju this week? Can't get both. I'm waiting and seeing with Marju. I'm okay with a guy that's touched 700, late 700K in the last couple years with paying a little bit extra. I think Kohler's a really interesting one. He plays round 19 as well. I don't think Ponga's going to get picked, but I just like him playing at fullback. When you have a look at his scores in fullback, they're almost all above that 60 or 70 in the 3 games that he's got it. I think that he's safe, and I think you can play him every year. I think there's still a chance that Marju has a 20, a 30, or a 40. I've probably just been burnt by him a little bit too much, but it's Tolo Kohler for me, mate. Brent, again, thanks for your questions today. Who are your must-own / nearly must-own players for round 19? Let me just get up who is playing in round 19. I look at it every day, so I should know this off the top of my head. But, sorry, man, I know that this is great audio. We are going to go for round 19. Damien Cook is there as the best hooker. Nico Hines at halfback is probably a guy that you're going to want to be playing. Dylan Brown. David Fafita, depending on whether he gets picked or not. And then I don't want anyone from St. George. Ben Hunt and Zach Lomax being their best players. Tolu Kola is going to become a really popular option, as well as Ruben Garrick. And, Ponga and Marju would be delightful, but I'm probably going to be staying away from them. So in summary, you've got Damien Hook, you've got Nico Hines, you've got David Fafita if he doesn't get selected, you've got Dylan Brown, you've got Garrick and Kohler, and you've got Marju and Ponga. If you can have about 5 of those guys, you've got a vice-captain option, you've got a captain option, and you can, move up the ranks through this period. Luro is asking, do I want Karaz or Brian To'o for the run home? This is nice and easy. I have Karaz, and I really want To'o. I think that everybody has burnt trades. We've had a pretty big injury season this year. I think everybody's burnt too many trades to get in Brian To'o, and this is the week to get him if you want. So he's got a negative 30 break even. He's 776K. He could be 900K in a couple of weeks. You might miss the boat on him if you don't get him this week. I really like Carraz. I think he's a keeper, but if I didn't have either of them and I needed one, it would definitely be Brian To'o. So, yeah, I wouldn't be trading Carraz for Brian To'o if you've got him there. But, yeah, look, he's an absolute jet for the run home. Just remember that the Panthers are going to be in a really good position. Ivan Cleary doesn't care about winning minor premierships and things like that. He's got his eyes on a real premiership again. Um, Brian To'o could find himself rested in some later rounds, whereas Carraz could be playing for his for a final spot and things like that. But yeah, I still think To'o, even if he plays one less game than Carraz, will outscore him on the run home. And this is the week to move with that negative break even. Jacko has asked, is Aiken a perfectly fine centre wing for? And yeah, I do think he is. I think he's one of those guys that on any other year, everybody would be jumping all over him. He's got excellent base. He plays all the Origin periods. He's not going to be playing Origin. He's 600K, which is fine. He's got a low floor. He's got a high floor and a low ceiling. Scoring between 50 and 89 in every game this year. He's as safe as houses. He's on a bye this week, but I think that he's great to get for 19 and great for the run home. I think that he's just going to bang out 60s and 70s for fun. And that's what ordinarily we would all want out of our centre wings. So I think we've had lots of panic trades. And that of the sort. But on any other year, I think Ewan Aitken would be extremely highly owned. I'm looking at getting him for a little bit of stability. I've had some high risk, high reward players, and I might just need that guy. So he's a guy that I'm probably looking at in round 19. And so, yeah, to answer your question, he is a perfectly fine centre wing 4. Brent, back again. This is his last question. Is it better to get, say, 21, 22 amazing players to play on matchups or have 18 players you play every week but save trades for that dreaded last round resting? I would have somewhere in the middle. I think having 18 players you play every week isn't enough. I think that you're going to need more than that. But I think, 20, 21 players that you can play on matchup. I'm looking at this week and I'm like, look, it's really wet weather. I know the Sharks are playing the Tigers. The Sharks haven't looked that well. Ronnie Mulatalo hasn't looked that well. Check there. There's 25 mil of rain. I'm not going to play Ronnie Mulatalo this week. I'm not going to play Kai Pearce-Paul this week, even though he's starting. I'm a bit worried of that rotation. They're guys I would ordinarily play, but that's probably only having 20 really good players or 21 really good players. So, I'd probably just hold off and somewhere in the middle is actually my answer. I hate to be fence sitting on a heap of these, but yeah, I think it's game by game because if you've got 18, you're going to have really the best captain options. Just make sure that you've got captain options that you're comfortable with every week. Your Tedesco's, your Nico Hines, guys like that. And Bray, this is the last question. DWZ and Henry to Marju and Ola leave 14 trades to get David Fafita, Gus Garrick, and a gun fullback for the run home. Yeah, look, moving on DWZ, I'm completely fine. That gives you that round 19 number as well. Liam Henry to Ola, the time for Liam Henry to go is now. Again, with all these Origin stars coming back, he's going to go back to a bench player, and you're going to lose all that money that you've got. I think you're in really good stead with 14 trades. I think David Fafita, Gus Garrick, and the gun fullback are guys that you want. Just remember, a lot of the appeal for Garrick comes with the round 19 number. I wouldn't be ripping my team apart in later stages to get him. So get him round 19. They have a really good draw as well. But if you're getting Garrick, I do wonder whether maybe, and you're attacking that draw and you're attacking round 19 numbers, maybe you do attack that Tolucola as well. But yeah, that's for you to decide. But yeah, I do think Marju and Ola knock it out trades. If he was playing round 19, I think I would have Olakuatu too. Just getting a guy like that for sub 600k is an absolute blessing. All right, guys, thanks for listening to the show. Sorry, I know my solos are a bit hard to listen to. Thank you to Ryan from Astute Newstead and the Standard Squeeze. Sorry that I'm giving you your shout out later on in the show. But good luck in round 18, and we'll see you for the recap on Sunday. Cheerio.